Talked about Washington, D.C. being broken. He's been there for 20 years. He's been a part of the problem. Unless we start talking serious about campaign finance reform, unless we start talking about getting special interest money, unless we start talking about filibuster reform, unless we start looking at fundamental ways that Congress is broken, unless we get some fresh leadership and some new ideas and someone who's willing to make tough stance when it comes to special interest money, things aren't going to get better.
All right, so Alexi, let's go to the other side of the ledger now. There have been actually Democratic officials in Illinois that in the past have suggested that you and your family's bank is connected to the mob, that you were a, quote, mob banker. That's the other side of this fascinating story. I will ask you,
Joe,
are you a banker to the mob? Where does this criticism come from, even from Democrats in your home state?
Joe, you've been to Chicago before. You know Chicago politics is tough. When I ran for state treasurer the first time, I ran against the machine candidate in my own party. I ran as an outsider. We were very proud to win that election, but some of the folks, try to make stories up and sensationalize stories, and that's part of the game. Unfortunately, there's no truth to it.
So did your family bank? Did your family bank finance finance any mob operations? Did you guys give loans to organized crime?
No. Joe, my father started a community bank 30 years ago. Unfortunately, he passed away. It was a business that he was very proud of. He helped thousands of people achieve the American dream. When a bank decided whether or not to approve a loan or deny a loan, they look at the creditworthiness of the borrower. They look at whether or not that individual or that company can pay the loan.
So is that a no?
Value. So that's okay. Yes, that's
okay.
That's
and I only cut you off because I want to get through these very quickly. Then we're going to go to Mark Halprin on a policy question. One other thing, obviously, you've heard that you approved loans for the bank as the bank was going down. They suggested that you were part of this culture of approving loans to people that weren't creditworthy, and that you helped run the family into the ground. What's your response?
And again, that's Congressman Kirk and the Republican Party trying to spread fears and lies. The truth of the matter is, again, my father started this business 30 years ago while I haven't been there in 4 years. Because of this devastating recession, we've seen community banks deal with challenges they never could have foreseen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my family's not immune to the same problems that a lot of family businesses and small businesses throughout this country are facing. That makes me fight even harder.
And by the way,
Kirk's never worked. Congressman Kirk's never worked in the private sector. He doesn't understand the importance of access to capital. He doesn't understand what it's like to hire or fire someone. But that's one of the problems, again, with Washington, D.C. He's been so steeped in D.C. politics over the last 20 years. He's forgotten what it's like for family businesses. He's forgotten what it's like for small businesses.
Let's go to Mark Halprin.
Really quick, Roland Burris has been in this seat. It's thought of as President Obama's seat, but Roland Burris has been the senator there. How would you evaluate the job he's done, and how, if at all, would you be different from him if you won the seat?
Well, I think Senator Burris has had some votes. He's been very supportive of Senator Durbin and of the president. Going forward, though, again, guys, Washington, D.C. is broken, and we didn't land in this recession on accident. And if you look at some of the policies that have got us in this mess, if you look at the fact that the same special interests control every piece of legislation that's out there, unless we get people who are serious about changing the system, who are willing to take the step that I did, not to take money from corporations and federal lobbyists, things aren't going to change. I feel very strongly about that. Now, I'm sort of in the wilderness here by making that stance, but I'm proud of it. I think not only symbolically is the right thing to do, but substantively, if I'm fortunate enough to become a U.S. Senator, I will not be beholden to anybody but the people of Illinois.